What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and I keep you up to date on all the stimulus stuff here on the channel. And in my last video, I let you know about $500 monthly checks happening in one city. I've got more word of 2 more monthly reoccurring checks in other cities, but I'm going to be covering that in an upcoming video because today I've got another stimulus check update for you, and that is, take a look at this. Millions of Americans can claim more stimulus money starting today, and that amount is going to be up to $5,000. Take a look at this. $5,000 from the IRS as tax season begins. Some may get a big payday. Now, I'm going to be giving you all the details, and of course, this is because, take a look, 2022 tax filing season begins today, January 24th. And you guys, I'm going to be giving you all the details of who could qualify and what is involved. Also, everything that you need to know about child tax credits, stimulus checks, for the tax season, papers that you need to hold on to. I've got video footage we're going to be covering in today's video. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, that's nice, but I haven't gotten my 2020 or 2021 tax returns or the unemployment. I'm missing a lot of stuff, even checks. Well, you guys, take a look at this. House Democrats are urging the IRS to clear their backlog, saying, listen, we got to get this taken care of. Millions of people have still not gotten their returns, and they're saying, please start with the lowest income first, the simplest ones, get them out, because people are still waiting. So you guys, I'm going to give you all the details as to what we're hearing starting today about new returns and who could be getting a whole lot of stimulus on their tax filings. Now, also wanted to say, if you've missed it, the new channel, I've got the second video up. I'll pin a comment down below. You can click the link, go subscribe, turn on notifications to join that channel to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. 2 videos up. The first one is about some advice I received from a multimillionaire several years ago when he told me the secret. 3 things to focus on to achieve financial freedom. I listened, did what he said, and did it. And it worked. And the second one I just uploaded is about the metaverse and how people are investing right now, making a ton of money in virtual real estate, NFTs, and also some of the businesses involved if you're just interested in buying some stocks or maybe some cryptos. Cover all the details in those videos. Be sure to check them out if interested, you guys. And thanks for all the support on that channel so far already. But now let's go ahead and dive into the latest and get you caught up as to stimulus checks, what's going on today, and some video footage right now. All right, so first up, if you're still missing tax returns, well, we have some good news that Congress is pushing the IRS to go ahead and address that backlog. Take a look, you guys, link in the description below. House Democrats urge IRS to clear that backlog. And it says that the IRS, they're set to begin accepting 2021 income tax returns on January 24th. And Representative Eric Swalwell of California last week, he joined 80 other House Democrats in urging the IRS Commissioner Charles Rettig to address a backlog of processing more than 6 million returns from last year that are still missing. 6 million. That is quite a bit. Now, according to the letters sent by the representatives, as of last month, the IRS had still failed to process 6.3 million individual returns and 2.3 million amended returns for the 2020 tax year. Now, in addition, the letter said that many taxpayers had still not received unemployment compensation, child tax credit payments, and economic impact payments, aka stimulus checks. Now, the backlog at the IRS is not only delaying refunds for millions of Americans and small businesses, but it's also threatening taxpayers who may not be able to complete their mortgage paperwork or apply for student loans because they cannot provide the required tax transcripts, Swalwell said. Now, with the new tax filing season right around the corner, it's critical that the IRS address this backlog and ensure that it is prepared for the upcoming season. Now, the IRS has blamed the pandemic for many of the delays, and they were saying they were getting hit with new stimulus checks, child tax credits, earned income tax credits, and having to address the unemployment changes, all of these things, and they were saying they were understaffed, and all of these new provisions and new legislation from the pandemic has caused them to fall behind. Now, the letter urged the IRS to create a plan to efficiently and effectively process the backlog in mailed tax returns, as well as to assist the Taxpayer Assistance Service in the hiring and training of new taxpayer advocates and to advise Congress of that plan. So they're saying, put together a new plan, train more people, get a new system in place, and let us know, because there's millions and millions of people still missing their returns. Now, if you're missing stimulus checks, child tax credits, anything that you should have gotten, they're saying you can claim it on your taxes. That is open, starting to file now today, January 24th. You can go ahead and do that. Now, also, there's a select group of people that could get a $5,000 bonus from the IRS, and that is for new parents in 2021. Take a look, you guys. $5,000 from the IRS for a newborn, at least for some. Taxpayers who had a child join the family in 2021 could be in for an additional $5,000 from the IRS via economic impact payments, aka stimulus check, and also the child tax credit. Now, those payments were automatically sent to people in 2021 based on previous tax returns. But if a family added a child, they would have no reason to report to the IRS until it was time to file their taxes. That means that they may not have received any of the monthly child tax credit payments that they were eligible for, nor the $1,400 stimulus payment for their dependent. Now, under the child tax credit increase passed by Congress in 2021, parents with children up to age 6 would receive $3,600, and those 6 to 17, $3,000. Now, presuming that the parents fell within the income limits for the stimulus and child tax credit and the child joined the family before the start of 2022, then they could get up to $5,000 when they file. That's $1,400 for that third economic impact payment or stimulus check, which must be claimed as a recovery rebate now on your taxes, and the full child tax credit amount of $3,600 that totals $5,000. So there you have it. If you had a baby in 2021, you could be entitled to an additional $5,000 of stimulus money that you missed out on that you can claim now on your taxes. Now, if you know anybody that's in that situation, be sure to share this video out so they can make sure that they claim that money and they get that rebate this year while filing. Now, in addition to that, speaking of taxes, there's going to be forms coming out for stimulus checks and the child tax credits. You're going to want to hold on to those for your taxes. Now, I did a previous video on this covering all the details, going through the letters and the information on the taxes. But also, I've got some video footage for you in today's video we're going to be taking a look at, and they're going to be covering this in detail as well. Let's go ahead and take a look.
When it comes to your finances, the last 2 years have been nuts. Stimulus payments, child tax credits, IRS filing deadlines moved, and a backlog of taxes when it comes to processing. You need to keep an eye for some letters from the IRS. Gilmore Jason Mahler CPA Charlie Hyde is here to help us out. Charlie, tell us about these letters from the IRS. I think I got some yesterday, but I haven't opened them yet. I'm not going to lie.
Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning.
So, yes. Right now, taxpayers should be receiving two different letters. One letter is going to be regarding the advanced child tax credit payment. That those, if you remember, those started being deposited in taxpayers' bank accounts in July, and they ran through December. It was a monthly advance on this credit. The second letter that people are receiving, and this goes back to March of 2021, and that was that third economic stimulus payment that people were receiving, which was $1,400 each for that payment.
Okay, so they got the letters in the mail. Okay, what do people need to know about these now?
Number one, you want to keep the letters, especially the child tax credit letter, because that is going to show you the number of payments you've received and the number of dependents that were used in the calculation. You're going to want this, whether you're preparing your own taxes or you use a professional, you're going to want to be able to give that to them, because there's a reconciliation. This was just an advance on a credit that normally you could not receive an advance on. So there's going to be a reconciliation that has to be done with this year's return, and it may result in, the credit was fine, you got an advance, and it just means you're going to take a lower net credit when you file your return. That's important to know, because if people are used to having a larger refund because they're getting this large credit when they file, they've received that refund periodically throughout June through December.
And that's why some folks maybe chose to opt out of this in the beginning when they were able to. Others said, you know what, I need the money now. You know, times are hard.
Right.
We need the money now. So they chose to get those payments. But it is something that they need to know when it comes time to file, as you mentioned, to reconcile.
If you opted out, you'll claim the full credit when you file your return.
Okay. Yep. How about the stimulus payments then? How is that going to work?
Yeah, so the stimulus payments, they're just sending this letter and tells you how much you receive. Now remember, on the stimulus, when they passed this, they narrowed the range of when you would phase out on being eligible for this. So a lot of people who received the payment, it might have been based off, they were looking at 2019 returns because you hadn't filed your 20 yet. And that's pre-pandemic, so you may not have been eligible for the third payment because your income was too high. And the income that we're talking about is for single, 75,000 adjusted gross income. For married, filing joint, 150,000. So you may have not received this third payment. And guess what? You can claim it on this year's return because the income threshold is based off your 2021 AGI. Not 2019 or 20 if they use that.
Okay, yeah, so again, it's kind of a reconciliation here then, you know, how much were you making, actually?
Right, and I think the big thing on the economic stimulus is if you receive that third payment and based on your 2021, you weren't eligible to receive that, there's no clawback. So you aren't going to have to pay it back.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good news at least. But then for folks who maybe didn't get it, but they should have, they'll be able to claim that.
They'll be able to get it on this year's return.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Good to know that. Charlie, this could be, a kind of dicey tax season in general because it sounds like the IRS has been pretty busy.
Yeah, it's the IRS is dealing with unprecedented backlog. Going all the way back to 2020 when, like any other business in the country, they shut down. They sent people home. That's when the deadline was pushed to July and they're still playing catch up. And it is millions of returns just from 2020 that are still being processed. Millions of correspondence that have not been addressed. And again, like any other business, they are having problems keeping people or finding people. So what I'm encouraging everyone is gather your information, start getting your return ready to go. They will start accepting e-file on January 24th. And if you've not e-filed in the past, I highly recommend it. It's the quickest way that if you're due a refund to get that refund.
Yeah, you want your money, you need your money. So that's a Monday then, January 24th. Yep, okay.
Yep.
All right, well, there you have it, you guys. Now is the time to start, January 24th, and you can get up to $5,000 if you had a new baby in 2021. Now, also, as I mentioned last video, $500 stimulus checks in one city, and I've got word of 2 more I'm going to be sharing with you tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. And you guys, as always, thank you so much for joining me here on the channel. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps me out a ton. Thank you so much. Also, if you want to stay up to date, totally free to do so. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. If you're interested in learning about growing wealth and personal finance, consider joining the second channel, Steve Ram Finance. I will pin a comment down below. And if you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of directly. All you got to do is hop onto Instagram and shoot me a DM at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, I hope this reaches you well, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.